It is not Igbo business whether Tinubu government does well or not, Uwazurike speaks. He says it is the business of the Northwest and Southwest. Some people go on there and do all this matter. The news in detail. Former president of an Igbo social cultural organization, Aka Ikenga, Chief Godi Uwazurike, in this interview says it has become an official policy to marginalize the Igbo in Nigeria. Tinubu simply follows suit. Except, they asked, what was the reasoning behind the decision for the Igbos not to participate in the End Bad Governance process, despite the widespread discontent with the current state of the governance in Nigeria? He replied, well, let me give you a straightforward answer. The Igbos are not really part of this government, and this neglect started from former President Muhammadu Buhari. And I remember saying it does not matter where we are, but the Igbos will progress more and more. And that has happened. When Tinubu came, he continued with the nepotism of Buhari. For example, in the latest appointment the president just made, 7 crucial appointments, not a single person from the South or Southeast made the list. So Igbo are feeling disenchanted and untouched by this government, and as far as they know, whether the government is doing well or not, it is not their business. To put it bluntly, it is the business of the Northwest and the Southwest. How many Igbo are in the Federal Executive Council? We have 5 ministers from the Southeast, but only 1 has a real ministry. The others are what I call attachment. The same applies to the president's advisors, and so on. So isolating the Igbo from the government is a state policy. After all, they have a special advisor in charge of disinformation of the Igbos in this country. He is there enjoying all the accoutrements of office. He was appointed for that purpose. Bayo Nanuga is there dishing out disinformation, dishing out misinformation, unchecked, and you want Igbo to come and stand and carry placards? For what and for who? For a man who will never look in the direction of the Igbos. So the Igbo have every right to be disenchanted. Nnamdi Kanu is there, and we have made requests to release him, but the answers have not been positive. I was part of a delegation that visited Buhari, and the man was shocked at the situation in Igbo land. Under Tinubu, the situation has not improved. We have military or police checkpoints every 1/4 of a kilometer from Tuesday to Sunday. However, on Monday, when we have criminal parading everywhere, those security men also withdraw. We have more security agents than criminals, but the security men do not do anything. So the Igbo feel abandoned, but we shall survive. Again, those who argue that participating in the protest would have been an avenue to massacre innocent Igbo youth were right. You see how they try to rope P2B into what he knows nothing about. The leaders of the protest were well known and were speaking on TV, so they were visible. No Igbo person was among them. Why then accuse the Igbos? So we know it was a trap to rope in P2B. They asked, how do you respond to critics who argue that the decision not to participate in the protest was a missed opportunity for Igbo to join forces with other Nigerians in demanding better governance and holding leaders accountable? He replied, missed opportunity for what? For a system that's already skewed against the Igbos? For an organized system designed to marginalize us? Those who voted for Tinubu, let them go ahead and enjoy the fruits of their victory. Remember that we had an election last year, and up until now, people are wondering whether those results reflected the actual voting. And when Obi and Atiku went to court, and INEC refused to release the results, what did the court do? Because P2B and Atiku paid for the certified true copy, but Obi never got his own up till today. When he complained to the Supreme Court that his right to receive the results had been breached, what did the court do? Nothing. They asked, in what ways do you think the Igbos can effectively advocate for their rights and interests within the Nigerian polity, if not through participating in nationwide protests like End Bad Governance? He replied, the position of the Igbo is like a pregnancy. Why? You can hide pregnancy for the first 3 months, but it must not get to 9 months. But if it must not get to 9 months, then people will see it. We are officially marginalized. When Zig came out in 1979, it was because of it. When Alex Ekwueme came out in 1998, it was the same thing. Now, when Obasanjo was in office, he knew the worth of the Igbo person and he made sure he brought the best brains, because when discussing with an intelligent person, he's not going to start praising you. Sycophancy is unknown in Igbo land. So Yaradua and Jonathan also knew that they continued. Yaradua and Jonathan also knew that, and they continued. But as soon as Buhari came, it became an official policy to marginalize the Igbos. Tinubu followed suit. Today, as it was under Buhari, there is no Igbo person in the kitchen cabinet of the president of this country. And you know, it is the kitchen cabinet that determines what happens. The discussion he holds with the kitchen cabinet are what he carries to his official cabinet. So when you want the best, you go for the best. Let me put it bluntly, the Igbos are very versatile in business, even beyond Nigeria, and we will continue to be. All we are asking for is a level playing ground. Up till now, most people did not know that Nnamdi Kanu quest is the freedom to decide. Give us a level playing ground and the agitation will stop. If they continue what they are doing, we will one day overcome. They asked him, were there any specific concerns or fears that led to the decision not to participate in the protest, and how were these concerns addressed or mitigated? He replied, well, I do not think we ever met anywhere to make that decision. Personally, I was not part of any such meeting. Two things happened. The policies of this country isolated the Igbos. Two, few people understood the game at hand, which is to give the Igbo a bad name and hang us. Yesterday, the Deputy Governor of Lagos was on Arise television. They were asking him questions, expecting him to condemn the propagators of Igbo must go, but he did not. All he said that was the state government will decide on it. So in this country, we know we are a people who are always targeted for one thing or the other. The targeting has to stop, and we'll make sure it stops. On looking forward, are there any plans or strategies? Okay, they asked. So looking forward, are there any plans or strategies in place for people to engage in collective action or activism on issues of governance, economy, or social justice? And if so, what forms might it take? He replied, well, the engagement of other people is on, because nobody will be president of Nigeria in a free and fair election unless he is ready to engage others. Igbos have never cocooned themselves, waiting for the presidency to be given to them. Never. I will not do that. There is nobody who is more nationalistic than the Igbo person. It is the Igbo man who goes to the north and west, settles down, builds, and invests. In Igbo land, who and who from outside that are investing in Igbo land, nobody is stopping them. Igbo have no such intentions to stop anybody from investing in Igbo land. Igbo are people who accept others and are only asking for acceptance. We are not asking for favors. We are not asking for handouts. The average Igbo man is a hustler and hardworking. It is not in our culture of blood to be lazy. They asked, are you worried about the Igbo Must Leave Lagos campaign, especially in view of the fact that those behind it having been brought to book? He replied, no, I am not worried, no shaking. Let me tell you why the organizers of those campaigns are not even Lagosians. That is what I will tell you. None of those organizers can point at their grandfather's grave in Lagos State. You cannot come from Ado-Ekiti to Lagos and say Igbo must go. Why? You cannot come from Ogun State or Kwara and say Igbo man must go. Let me tell you one small secret. The Lagos communities actually prefer more Igbo people to come and invest. Alright, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy.